Hi, I'm Juanita from Nearby Artisans, and I'm going to show you how you can make a gallery wall so that you can plan a wall in your home and not have to worry about holding up paper the sizes of your pictures till your arms hurt, or putting nails in and then finding out they're in the wrong spot, or standing there and holding the frames up. That gets tedious. You can do it right here in your Cricut Design Space. So the first thing I did some pre-preparation here. I created a square, rectangle, for an 8x10 frame, a 16x20 frame, 10x10, 5x5, and 12x12. Now, when you're doing these frames and these dimensions, I use the 1 inch equals 1 square foot dimensions that architects use. So this frame right here, if you took a calculator and you said 8 divided by 12, you would get 0.66. I also did the frames the size of, like, this is the width and the height. So the width is the one here on all of these, and then the height is the second one. And so if I were turning these around and I wanted it to be 20 by 16, say, I wanted the width to be the 20, I would just flip these around. I would just make a copy and flip them. And I'm going to make sure I save these here. And if I want to use any of these for getting the inside of the frames, or slicing some of these pictures, I would get a copy of this. I'm just going to leave this the way it is here. And you can save this as a legend for other walls too. So I also did some pre-planning by downloading some frames that I liked and taking pictures of frames that I liked at stores and that I have. And then I got a couple of couches here, or sofas, and a table, and some pictures of my younger two daughters. So we can get started. I'm going to do, the first thing is the farmhouse look, because that's really popular right now. This is a couch or sofa that I found to be the farmhouse style. And there's several others. You can download pretty much any of them just from a furniture store, or take a picture of your own couch and scan it in. So I'm going to go ahead and, again, the 5 inches equal, or 1 inch equals 1 foot. So I'm going to make this sofa 5.5 feet. So I'm going to go up here to size. I'm going to leave it locked because this was dimensional. It looks pretty good to me as far as being, the right dimensions, not too tall, too wide. So I'm going to say 5.5 is the size of mine. And so now I have this sofa here, and I want to line this sofa up on kind of like where this little cross here is on one of the lines here. I would do the 6, but I have these things over here, and I could put those somewhere else if you'd rather do that. But I'm just going to do it here on the 8, because I want to line these all up with a center line. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. I think I'm going to go ahead and start with, first of all, I want to show you how to get rid of the center of these frames if you don't already have that. I think none of mine have a center, but basically what I did is, like, say this frame here, if I couldn't get rid of the center, because sometimes editing it when you first bring it in doesn't work for the center part. So I just took and got a shape. Then I took that shape and I put it within my frame, and I just made sure it was right inside of there and right there to where no white shows, and then I just did the slice. So that's how I got the centers out, if when you upload them, if you still have a center. Now, I think, like I said, that I'm going to go ahead and use maybe this frame here. I want this frame to be the other. I want this frame to be 20 by 16. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate this. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. I'm going to also make sure that this is the dimensions for the 16 by 20. So the 16 by 20 is 1.66 by 1.33, so I'm going to make this the opposite, 1.66 by 1.33. Okay, just double check that again, 1.66, and that's fine. So now I'm going to line this up here, and now I want to see, some of you might want to do just the frames by themselves and figure out what you want to put in them later. I want to decide what's inside of my frames and kind of get a good visual of how everything's going to look now. So I'm going to take this picture of my daughter, and I'm going to go ahead and put it right up in here, make it as big so that the frame, I want the frame on top, or at least make sure that the picture, I can go in here and make sure that the picture is fitting within the frame, so I don't have any, although it's the outside of the frame that's going to matter. So, okay, I like that. Now I might want, I'm going to choose from my frame, so I'm going to go out and see what I have. And I think for the smaller, I might want to go with the black. And again, you would download the frames that you like. You would be uploading frames that you like or that you have. So you would have very different frames from mine. And I think I might just take and make that, what is a 5x5? 4.16. So I'm going to go ahead and make this 4.16. I'm going to keep it locked in. Oh, I want 5x5, 0.416. Okay, so 0.416. And now I have the smaller frame. I might put 2 of them. So I'll put that there. I'm going to get a copy of this. So I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste a couple of them. So I think I want 4. So now I'm going to take and separate them up here. I'll just use this one. I'm going to line that up. I'm going to line these 2 up. And I'm going to try to keep them on these lines because these lines will also help me. Like, I might want to make sure that this is 1.5 feet over. And then I can say where I put my nail or my sticky hanger, and that way I have it 1.5 foot over, and then maybe 1/4 of a foot down. So, but I would keep these measurements as easily as I can to do this. Okay, so I like that. So I like that arrangement. I want to see what pictures I might want to put in there. Again, the pictures might not matter to you at first, but later on, that might matter to you, which pictures you put, which direction, and you can scan them right in here. It's very easy to do that. You just upload them. I think I'll go ahead and I'm just going to get copies of these. That way, in case I decide to do something else with these, I still have them. So I'm just going to go ahead and get a copy of that. Paste. And a copy of this one and paste. I don't mean to use all my pictures of the same daughter, but, well, my other daughter's over here. But they were just the easiest to get to because they have a ton of these on Facebook, and my older daughters don't. So, okay, so now I have, I think I'll do this one also. So now I have a couple of pictures that I can work with. Give that paste. Okay, so now I have a couple of pictures I can work with, And I'm going to go ahead and make this larger so that I can see how my pictures are going to go in the frames. And I think that I'll go ahead and see how I'm going to send this to the back and see how small I need to make this to get this to work. And let's see. And I would blow this up a lot larger to work with it here. Let me get this lined up how I want it. I'll get the picture correct first, and then I'll worry about the frame, because I'll go ahead and flatten this. Okay, I like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over here and get the 5x5, a copy of the 5x5 square that I have. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to bring it over to this frame here. And I'm going to place this behind and get most of what I want there. And now I'm going to slice. Now I can get rid of that and all of that, and I have a picture of what I want. So now I'm just gonna delete these. Now I have my picture here to put in my frame. Again, send it to back. And there I have my picture. Now I can see how that's going to look. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to this one. I'm going to make it smaller, pull it over, send it to the back, see how much I like of it in the frame. Because you can take this, that's what's the wonderful thing, you can print these out. I'm going to talk about printing these out in Print and Cut and creating a gallery wall packet that you can take places to your friends or your parents or your family, a spouse, and design this gallery wall with pieces. So I'm going to go ahead again and get this, a copy of this. Okay, so now I know that I want this most center part of this picture. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it up to here. And it gives me the outline of where the picture is so that I can see what I'm getting here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right in there. It looks like it did kind of fit, but just with a little bit. So I'll go ahead and line that up there. Click on both. Slice. Again, get my any pieces that are out from there. Put my picture right there. Put my frame around it. Pull this out to the front, or push this one to the back. And now I have half of my gallery wall. Let me see how that looks. Okay, and now I can kind of see, you know, what I'm getting, how it's going to look. I might decide that I like this frame better. Maybe this goes better with what I have. See if I need to make any adjustments there. And I think that, let me see what my 16 by 20 is. The 16 by 20 is 1.66 by 1.33. Yeah, that's about the same. So now I can choose between these two frames. Say, do I like this one better on my wall? And again, I could actually take a picture of my own sofa and put it there. Maybe I want this one again and decide what one I like. On the ones that are, now the ones like this, you might want to use one that size. And it has the 4 different pictures in it and have them all the same. So let me see if I like that better. I think I'll go ahead and flip this around. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And shrink it down to the right size. Again, getting the 16 by 20 size. Now, if you download one of these pictures or upload them, and like I said, the squares, this center part is still there, just take your shape, get your shape within there, and then just slice that out. And it'll be gone. So the dimensions again, 1.33, 1.66. So I'm going to say width 1.33, 1.66. I'm getting my dimensions from clicking on this over here. And that's supposed to be 1.33 by 1.66. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and see, did that 1.33, 1.66, 3. Oh, I need to unlock it. 1.66. Let's see. I think for this one, I don't want to. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and flip this back around. Pull it over here. I'm going to bring it to the front. I'm going to pull it over here, and I'm going to get those dimensions there. I'm going to unlock it, pull it over, and rotate it 90 degrees. And there I have my 16 by 20 inch frame. So now I'm going to go ahead and replace this one and the picture. I didn't flatten that yet. And I'm going to pull this down here. Again, kind of get it lined up, center on this 8. And now what I can do is I can take pictures and get copies of them. Get a copy of this. So I'm just going to duplicate it. Where's my duplicate? Duplicate. And now what I can do is go over to this, try to adjust it to the size of one of the little windows here. So right there, get it in there. Looks like it fits right there. Send it to the back. Send to back. And now I have one of the pictures in there. Now I'm just gonna, I'll use this picture here. I can go ahead and duplicate it. The other copy, I'm going to make this smaller. Take a look at where I want it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get a shape. And I'm going to make this shape the size of this little window here. So I'm going to make it the size of the window, the opening, kind of centered in there. I'm going to make it slightly bigger because this picture will go behind. Now, I'm going to try to get some of this picture, at least the width. So I'm going to make the width of this picture the width of that there. And I'm going to take both of those and slice. Get rid of that. Take that. Delete. Delete that. And now I have this to fit in that. And I'm going to send it back. Oops. It'll be easier to move that out of the way. Line that back up. Pull this in here. And now I have two of the pictures for this frame. And I could decide to go ahead and keep that. Again, I can try all the different frames here. And I can make these frames the sizes that I want because I can go to the frame store. And like, for instance, if you go to Michael's for this frame, not for that one maybe, but this frame, they're going to sell that in the 8x10, 16x20. I mean, you're going to be able to get these frames in different sizes. And you may decide once you get there that you really want a different frame that they have there. But as long as it's the same size, you're getting a general idea of what this is going to look like. And that's the wonderful thing about this, is getting this all, like right here, I'm just going to flatten this so that when I move one, and now it'll move as a unit. And I won't have to worry about, I won't have to worry about moving this and I won't have to worry about moving this because it'll move as a unit. The same with this one. I'm going to click on it, flatten it, and now it'll be moved together. So that's just some of the wonderful things you can do with this. I could then decide, okay, I don't like the 4 pictures. For that, maybe I'd later on make this smaller and rotate it and have that be an 8x10 size frame with a little like 4x6 pictures in there. But maybe I decide that I want this kind of a frame with this sofa. Bring this to the front. And then here again, I would make this picture larger to fit, or I think that this, I think it's the frame size. I just want to make sure my frame size is correct. So I'll go over to my 16x20, and the 20 is 1.66, so I'm going to change this to 1.66. And 1.33. And now I have my 16x20. Now I'll lock that in. And when I'm starting this out, if I really think that I know that I want certain frames, certain sizes, I would go ahead and do those sizes for the frames in the beginning. Like I would make all of my frames the sizes that I want. I would just do a lot of pre-planning here. And now say I have this this sofa here instead. Or one more like that. One less farmhouse style, but I have one like this. Again, I'm going to use the dimensions that I have. So I'm going to make this sofa. I'm going to line it up center, and then I'm going to make it the width 5.5 or 5.5. You might have a 6-foot sofa or a space for a 6-foot sofa. I'm just going to go ahead and put that there, and at that point I might want a little bit more formal of a frame, so I'm going to go and find one of my more formal ones. Maybe I want a big gold frame. With that style. So I'll pull that in, bring it to front. Put that there. And maybe I want, if I'm going to have it more formal with the gold, I might pick a different, I would have different frames that I had scanned in or had uploaded, and then I might have more silver. I thought I had one here, but I don't. Maybe silver frames, and then I could decide, okay, I have this nice plant. I could pull that plant over into the room. See how will that look? Okay. Yeah. Now maybe I also want to be able to see how this all looks with a wall. So I have this background. I don't think that it looks quite right with the sofa there. But say if you have your walls are a certain color, you can go in and get the hex numbers of the room, of the paint. You can go into Microsoft Paint, which is still free, and if you don't have it already, you can go on and get it from the Microsoft website and just download it, and you can just get a big old square with the color of the room you have by just scanning in one of the paint samples, or there's just many ways. I have videos on how to do that. But you might decide you like the more formal look. Like this looks pretty elegant right here. This might even look more elegant. Say if I flipped this 180 and had the dark part at the bottom. See, now that looks pretty nice. That's kind of a nice room. And I, at this point, might want some small gold frames or white. I might want white frames to go with this, or maybe some like antique color of frames, but I have a whole different look here. I might want to stick with the, I might want to make a frame. Like I can go ahead and go up here with my shapes, and I can make a frame and scan in some colors that I like of the frame and have actually colored frames. I can also say maybe my gallery wall isn't where the sofa is. It's in a room that I have a table. So I can go over and I can go onto the internet, maybe onto a furniture store, get a table, bring that to the front. Oops. Let's send that to the back. Get my stuff back here. Send this picture to the back. There we go. And now maybe I have, this is what I have, an entryway. And so I have my table here and my plant on the side, and I have my pictures lined up above the table. At this point, maybe this isn't the right frame for that look. So I might want to have a clock and then have the pictures around it, around my clock. Maybe it wouldn't be that big. I would have the dimensions for the clock. And like I think this would be a 6-inch round, so we'll say I think we'll just leave it at that, and perhaps like these pictures maybe on each side, and I would put the pictures that I'm going to put in here in these. See that? Make it a little smaller. Put that in there. I might, and you can get lots of different plants that you can pull in, and then you can go and buy those plants, the plants that you have decided. I also maybe have one of the windmills. Those are very popular right now, and I might want that in the room instead of the clock. So I could pull that in here, and I would have the appropriate size and make sure that I've sized it up here. I'm just going to assume that it's this size there, and I might have a different table, you know, different plants. I could even put little things on here that I can get pictures of, or even take pictures of things that I have and just go in and edit them so that they fit in here. And again, I'm doing a video how to do that. And so you just get some really nice ideas of how you can create your room and how you can do decorating with your Cricut software. I'm also going to do a video on exterior decorating and landscaping with your Cricut software. But another wonderful thing you can do with this that I find very interesting is that once you get something and you say, I love this, this is what I want, you can do print and cut of these, cut them out, and then you can sit down at work or with other people, with a sibling, with your parents, with your spouse, or even just take it to the frame store, the furniture store, and show them what you want. And also sometimes when you have plants and things, or you go in with something like this and a plant, someone there can say, oh, this plant would look better, and then they can help you with some options. So this is how I would do the print and cut. I would put all of this that will fit on a page. I would print it out, cut it out, and then for this background, I wouldn't waste all this ink printing this out. I would just, unless you really like this, how it goes from the dark to the lighter. Now, if you really like that, then you would want to just print this out. But you could go to your craft store and find paper, the color of that you're painting your room or that you have painted it, and then use that for your backdrop, and then lay these things on it. You can also use the sticky notes. Just cut the sticky part off of your sticky notes and double stick tape them to the back of these, and you can stick that over and over again on your background page here, or you can use glue that is repositionable glue. But there's a lot of things you can do with this, and it's a lot of fun. It's just so much fun to decorate this way because you get that idea. And now, after you have this, what you want and where you want it, like say if this is, what I want right here, and you can also adjust these sizes of the frames, and you can go in. Our frame store will make you a frame any size you want. Like if you don't like the dimensions that they come in, just take your frame to the frame store, take your little grouping here in a little portfolio and say, this is what I want, and they'll help you. But it's just so much easier to see it here, to try formal, informal, farmhouse, farmhouse with a little formal. Get your pictures in there, see how they look together. This is just so much fun and so wonderful. And then after you're done, you can take, like I said, and line these up perfectly and then say, okay, this here, I need to have a hole at the center of my wall, or if this is off-centered, wherever this line would be, consider that center, and then say, I want another hole that will be 1 foot and that's, I guess, 1/4 of a foot. So 1 1/4 foot over, and then, down. And you can also say, do you want these all lined up at the top? You can try that, do that up here, line them up, arrange them, line them up at the top, line them up to one side or the other. And this is just so much fun to do and to decorate your home with. So I hope you try it. I hope you like doing this. And please like and subscribe, and go to the Nearby Artisans website, because you can also use this and make these decorating pamphlets for friends. And they'd probably pay to do this. Go to your home dec stores local, tell them that you can do this. It's really something to use instead of all of that trying to guess. So thank you for watching.